Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk Uncut. Drew Garrison, Chad Penrod in the locker room. Today we're going to discuss whether or not the XFL is falling off, a report from Ian Rappaport in relation to the Bengals offseason plans, our top 3 free agents we would want on our teams, of course some UD Flyer coverage. We will go over what we expect out of, or what players we would take and put on our teams out of the NFC East, and then a little bit more talk about the Browns and an interesting decision they made over the past week. And, of course, we will get to some questions from our listeners via our Facebook page. So, Chad, let's get right into it. Let's start with the big local story. The UD Flyers last night beating Rhode Island pretty handedly.
That is the third-ranked UD Flyers.
The third-ranked UD Flyers is correct. 19 straight wins. Big win against Rhode Island. I know Rhode Island was supposed to be pretty good when they played earlier, and UD beat them pretty handedly. They did it again last night. The game was never really in doubt.
Rhode Island, was 20-8 going into the game. They're not a bad team. There's a good chance that they could make the tournament still. 20. I think they actually will make the tournament. 20-9 now, man. Dayton just took off there in that second half. It was kind of close there. Right? Yeah, it was close in the first half there.
A little bit
second
there,
half, Dayton, just took off there. And they did that with a lot of their stars on the bench there, man. That was a lot of the second unit there, man. Looked up, and they were up 18.
Getting them a little run?
Yeah. No, that just goes to show you, man, Dayton is a full team top to bottom. Like I said, Rhode Island is a good team, 20-9 now, and Dayton beat them by 27, 84-57 last night. Just huge, man. Obi Toppin, led the way with 20 points. Landers dropped another 14. Landers also shot 6 of 7 from the field, man. So he did his thing there. So they just continue to impress. We talked last week. Maybe we wanted them to lose. And I don't know, get that monkey off their back before they head into the tournament, and they still have to play the Atlantic 10 tournament. And it's hard telling what they'll do there. They'll probably win it. And then I think they're going to get a 1 seed, man.
I think they are. They got one more game here Saturday against George Washington. Something really cool. College game day coming to Dayton, Ohio for that game. I think that's awesome.
I actually seen on social media the game day bus is actually in Huber Heights.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I guess I don't think it costs any money, and I think that they just have it parked there in Huber, and they're allowing people to tour the bus to go in and check out the bus and all that. And from what I was hearing, people saying it's badass, man.
Yeah, if it's anything like the Monday Night Football bus it is. I saw some pictures of that. That came to UD actually for some basketball when John Gruden's nephew was there. My dad got to see it. So if the game day bus is anything like that, it's awesome. And going back to Friday last week when they played Davidson, how cool is it for Dick Vitale to be in UD Arena calling a UD game?
This has got to be the biggest thing to ever happen to this team, man. And I was actually reading something, and I could be wrong on this from that article, but the article stated that no player from UD has left early for the NFL draft. I'm sorry, for the NBA draft. And
ever?
That's what I was reading. Everybody, stat check me there, but they're saying Obi's going to be the first one. I think there was one other, but since then Obi's going to be, one of the first few guys to come out into the NBA draft and leave early.
He's definitely going.
Oh, God, yeah, man. He's a top 10 pick.
An interesting thing about UD is looking at their record, 16-0 at home. Not super shocking. It's a good environment. 9-0 on the road, too. They have only lost games on neutral sites.
Yeah, well, that's
coming.
That's coming in the tournament.
Yeah, they'll be in Brooklyn playing the first. The A-10 tournament will start on Friday the 13th. So I don't know how that is for them.
They probably won't play that. I would imagine they'd have a bye.
They may. I just see that's when it starts. It isn't all laid out yet, I don't believe. But, man.
No, it's not. It's not set up yet.
College game day coming to Dayton, number 3 in the country. Lots of excitement surrounding it, man. It just got me more geared up for March Madness because Duke is unfortunately not somebody I'm super confident in this year.
I'm ready to see what Dayton's about to do, man, because I think they're going to make a run.
I think they are, too. I'm saying Sweet 16 at least.
They might go further than that.
It wouldn't shock me.
There's a lot of people saying outside of Kansas, that Duke is, and Kansas, they went overtime, wasn't it? Lost to them in overtime by like
toe to
2
toe
or
with
whatever. And saying that they think that Kansas and Dayton are the 2 top teams. The only thing that people are waiting on is like, okay, well, the ranked teams that they have played, they lost to, but they did lose to them in overtime.
Right.
So you just never know how these things go. But we know we have a top 10 NBA player in the draft coming out in Obi Toppin. So I think anything's possible for this team, man, because they play together, and that's what you need.
That's what it is. They play together. They do have a little bit more depth than you might think. I think we got to see that. And
last night against Rhode Island, you actually got to see the depth.
I think Grant did that on purpose too. I think he was trying to get maybe those guys some more run than they're used to. You got a good lead. We're going into tournament play. Let's get these guys in, get a chemistry going with that second unit. So very, very excited to see where that goes. We'll have our eyes all over that.
I personally think they're going to win the Atlantic 10 championship.
Yeah,
and then I think they're going to make a deep run into the NCAA tournament. Now, how far will they go? I don't know. I think they get further than the Sweet 16. But we'll see. You just never know with this tournament, man. And this is the year. If there's going to be a surprise team like a Dayton, like a San Diego State, that could win it all this year, this is it, man, because there are some teams outside of Kansas who you just don't know. It is a toss-up this year. And
I was reading actually earlier today, it looks like that per – so a bracketologist, if you will, somebody that, is an expert on these brackets, they believe today that Dayton has edged out San Diego State for a 1 seed. They believe that Dayton's going to get a 1 seed, and I don't see anything that would change. I think they're forcing their hand. Yeah. They're making the committee give it to them, right?
I mean, I would think both of them would get a 1 seed, wouldn't they? I mean, that's a...
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what divisions, I guess, or whatever they're put in.
Yeah, I don't know how they plan on doing that, or if there's a way they go about it. I have no idea, but I thought that they just rank all, 64 teams, and that's how they go. I didn't know, if it's like, 32 here, 32 here. I didn't know that. If that's listeners, let us know if that's how that works. But I would think San Diego State and Dayton would deserve a first seed, but I don't know.
It's all based around where the first round games are, because they'll have like an East Division, a West Division, a North Division, a South Division. So I don't know.
Well, shit, if you can get a 1 seed, it shouldn't matter.
I guess it depends on the movement, maybe in the AP where San Diego State goes. They may have dropped a game, but I mean, just lots to go with that, man. So we're gonna keep our eyes on the Dayton Flyers, and if they make a deep run, we will be here following every detail of it.
Flyers! Last home game.
Go Flyers!
When is that?
It's Saturday.
Last
night.
home game Saturday. You guys go check it out.
Yes, sir. So something else I want to get into now, moving to another sport. You brought this up the other day. I kind of didn't really discuss it with you a lot because I wanted to save it for here.
We haven't discussed this.
I was looking at some numbers and some stuff, but you asked, and I think it's a good question, is the XFL already falling off? Not a lot of talk about it on social media anymore.
I think from a viewership standpoint, I think ratings are still sky high. I know for me personally, and man, I love football. I mean, you know me. I mean, we've met over sports, and we do a sports podcast here, but I can honestly sit here and say, since that first week of the XFL where I watched 3 or 4 different games, I haven't watched the XFL since. I haven't. I just can't. I don't know. I just can't get mentally involved with it the way that I do with the NFL, and I didn't never expect that I would be able to do that. I don't know. I just can't bring myself to want to watch it. I just end up watching other shit.
I think the novelty of it for a lot of people has worn off. I did see an article that said no XFL game has fallen under the threshold of 1 million viewers. So that's, it shows that they're getting ownership. And I saw today the St. Louis Battlehawks are opening up the upper deck of their stadium because of so many ticket sales.
They're like the biggest. They have like the biggest fans.
I think so.
I think with them losing the Rams, I think they just grabbed onto
a football team. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'd have to look it up. I think they play at the old dome where St. Louis, the Rams, played.
You might be correct. Honestly, I don't know. But here's my thing with the XFL for people maybe like me, that just can't grab a hold of it. They need to go get some bigger names. I know that they don't want to bring negativity into their league, But come on, you got to make a call to Johnny. You got to go look at the Josh Gordons, and you got to go look at, the fucking drug dealing assholes that, whatever the situation is, you gotta bring that in, because I know damn well if Johnny Manziel was to sign with the XFL right now, I'd watch the very first game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. And just to follow up on that, they are playing in the St. Louis Rams' old dome called the Dome at America Center. So they're opening up the upper deck of a former NFL stadium. So that's pretty cool for them.
That is sweet.
When it comes to me, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a Defenders fan. They're close to home. They got Tyreek Hill from Michigan. He's a Dayton guy. I'm going to rock with them. I've watched every Defenders game, but I'm not yelling and cheering and getting mad and cussing and all the stuff that I do when I watch the Bengals. I don't have that investment.
Right.
And the Defenders have gotten their ass whooped the last 2 weeks in a row. And that goes to show you I should not have pledged my XFL loyalty to a team with an Ohio State quarterback.
Well, when they play that team up north, they just they seem to thrive no matter what, even if it is only one game.
Cardale never beat Michigan.
Well,
he wasn't the starter by the end of that year.
He would have.
But yeah, I'm never going to be as into it as I am with the Bengals. I've been watching the Bengals for over 20 years. So
I want to watch football. I love it. It's been the same thing for me from the beginning. It's just the talent level, man. It's just not there. I don't know. You just don't. To me, you don't see the big explosive plays like you see in the NFL. I don't know.
I would argue that.
No, I just can't get involved, man. Like, I don't know. It's different for me. There's only a few teams,
I think for you and maybe a lot of other people, if the quality of just the quarterback play,
I'm a Browns fan, man. That's what I look at.
Yeah,
like
there's
when
not
you're
a lot of
good, I said this on
PJ Walker's balling though for the Roughnecks.
There's a few, but fuck, it'll stop eventually. These guys couldn't make an NFL roster. I mean, it's just I said this when the XFL first came out and we talked about this. When you're running a 7-yard out and a guy throws the ball in the dirt, it doesn't.
Carson Palmer.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think that if the viewership stays up and they keep selling out games in these cities,
go get Johnny.
The money will be there, and then they may be able to attract more. Right now, guys are making like $50,000 a year.
Yeah,
Johnny Manziel's not going to come play football for $50,000.
And I don't want to get into a political standpoint here because I said that he's probably asking for entirely too much money. But at this point, if Kaepernick did come, I would watch it.
I would too.
I would just to see if he would just tear the league up. Did he look like he deserves to be in the NFL?
Right.
Maybe if he signed just a 1 year, like, okay, watch, I'm going to go prove it. However his mind thinks.
Well, his mind thinks ask for a ridiculous amount of money they can't pay, and I can play the victim. But we don't need to go down that road.
He has no intentions on playing football.
But yeah, you're right. I'd be locked in.
Yeah, I'd be locked in on a Kaepernick, on a Johnny Manziel. If Josh Gordon signed with the team, because I think Josh Gordon would kill it over there. I think he'd be fucking untouchable.
Oh yeah.
There's
he'd be drunk and doing
great running backs out there still. I don't know. Like I said, I just can't get involved with it. Maybe one day, but I don't see that.
I watch it if it's on because it's football, but yeah, the dedication isn't really there. I'll watch it, but I'm just not gonna get too into it. I guess.
Wait. Well, we were about to transition from the XFL here, but Drew, we got some breaking news. This is the third time in the locker room here.
Man, it's coming. Shams.
And I'm going to give this over to you. Yeah, a sham bomb here. I'm going to let you talk here, man. This is the Los Angeles Lakers has just agreed to terms with former third overall pick, former Cleveland Cavalier, Dion Waiters. How do you feel?
I thought this was going to be JR here.
I did too. 100%. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I personally thought JR would be better because of his past relationship with LeBron, and I don't know
LeBron didn't want Dion Waiters when he came back.
That's kind of what I thought. He played a year, I think, and LeBron's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't.
But the Lakers are on these redemption stories. Dwight Howard, I changed, I learned, and I guess Waiters did a lot of that when he came for his workout, saying, this is where I made my mistakes. This is where I messed up. This is where I want to learn. But
He was balling in Miami. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised Miami even let him get away.
Well, he was having issues with I guess an injury this year, and
I seen
he
that.
had like the seizure because he was eating like fucked up weed edibles or some shit. I think he kind of wore his welcome out there. He can score. Don't get me wrong. He could be a good second unit scorer. But
listen, if he's on, man, listen. Go back and watch him, and it was either Brandon Knight or him and maybe Hardaway. Fuck, maybe I'm wrong, but listen, it was Deion Waiters. Somebody go and watch the All-Star weekend where the rookies play each other, or the rookies and the
Rising Stars Challenge,
and watch Deion Waiters in that game.
Yeah, he killed it.
And then there was games when before LeBron was in Cleveland where Deion could take over a game, but it's like one out of like every 15 games,
right?
So he's inconsistent. You're gonna be one day you're gonna love him, and then the next you're like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know. I'm with you. I would have rather seen JR in LA there.
The concern with JR, I guess, is he just hasn't played basketball in so long.
Deion's taking a hell of a lot of time off too, though.
He played in games this year for Miami,
but it's still been a while. I just don't think you.
JR. I mean, we're looking at like 2.5 years for JR.
Yeah, but. No, he played a little bit last year.
Oh, did I thought?
He played a little bit last year before they let him loose. Or they decided to go their separate ways, or however it was. But I don't think you will ever lose how to play basketball when you're these NBA players, man.
No, that's true, and I'm sure he's been working out. He brings shooting. I think he brings better defense than Waiters.
I mean, Deion can play a little bit of defense. Deion can get to the rack. I mean, obviously, shooting's JR. I would say defense is JR.
Waiters is better at creating his own shot.
Yeah, exactly. JR is. With LeBron there and AD, JR just made so much sense to me, but.
I think what the Lakers are looking for more, though, and just to play devil's advocate here, is somebody that can come in on the second unit and create their own shot. If they were looking for somebody to play crunch time minutes and hit the big three with AD and LeBron on the floor, I would say JR more. I can see why they went Waiters. I still kind of thought it was going to be JR here. I think I would have probably been more comfortable with it being JR.
I would love to know the story behind that. And know what happened with JR.
Yeah, I'm sure more will come out about that. But looking at it now for what it is, looking at the market of available players, it's a low risk, high reward thing, I guess. I just don't know if there was anybody out there that was going to make
either one at this point. It's a low risk. They're probably not making much, and you're just adding to. I mean, you got beat to death by the Clippers, and buyouts.
Beat to death. And the buyout market.
And buyouts and adding, and the trade deadline or whatsoever. I mean, the Clippers beat the shit out of the Lakers there. But like you said, low risk, high reward here. We'll just time's going to have to tell on this one.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. But I don't think that either guy makes that much of a difference. Honestly, I think that. We've discussed what we think their ceiling is, and I don't think this really changes it. But
the Lakers are going to go as far as AD takes them, and I say that I know LeBron. It's LeBron or Giannis for the MVP this year. I know that, but
it should be LeBron.
I'm saying AD because what AD is going to show up. Is AD going to get hurt? We know LeBron.
Yeah.
We know LeBron's going to ball out.
You take AD off that team, it's the same team as last year without Ingram.
Right, exactly. So. I think it falls on AD's shoulders and how he decides he's going to play.
So we'll see. I'll be tuned in, see how Deion looks. So that literally, we were getting ready to move on to another topic. My phone went off with a shams bomb. So that is real-time news getting dropped right here. So transitioning into where we were actually going with this after that is let's talk a little bit about the Cleveland Browns. You had Twitter going insane over a picture you posted. I was going to talk about something else, but let's talk about these uniforms real quick, man. What did you do to these people?
If you guys follow me on Twitter, look at it, man. I got over 100 likes.
Drop your handle. Tell them what it is.
At Penrod937 on Twitter. But all I did was last March, so a year ago, there's been word the Browns are changing their uniforms. Sweet. These uniforms they picked out fucking sucked. So I was like, hell yeah. Well, somebody tweeted a picture, it was inside of an office. The uniform looked really fucking sweet to me. I saved it in my phone. all this talk about the unis, has anything been leaked? Has, this or that? Well, all I did was the photo that somebody else made. Like I said, I saved it in my phone.
I knew that. I'd seen that picture.
Yeah, you'd seen it. A year later, all I did yesterday was I dropped the picture. I put an emoji with the heart eyes, and people fucking took it and ran. Like, calling me, dude, going off on me and shit. And all I did was like, hey, I like these unis. Everyone else is talking about them. Let's go with these ones. And dude, my fucking Twitter blew up. People were pissed. I'm talking hundreds of people.
Like you're a real source or something.
Yeah, like who the fuck am I? I had to get on there.
You did that at work.
And because I did it at work. I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm not saying these are it. I just said I like these. Like, you guys are taking this and running with it. But it was fun, though. I kept talking to you and Austin last night, and you guys just heard my phone. Just fucking going bananas. It was fun. I kind of was playing with people there for a little bit, but I didn't mean nothing by it, and I had no idea that it was going to do that.
So they're announcing new uniforms soon?
They're gonna have, yeah. Oh yeah.
After the draft,
we're gonna have. I would imagine it'd be before.
Yeah, because you want the guy to hold the jersey up.
Yeah. So these uniforms are fucking disgusting. Now, if they somehow can find a way to keep the Color Rush uniforms
that's the
certain way. Everybody loved the Color Rush uniforms. Or even if they stay the Color Rush and they just switch the original jerseys, because if you guys remember last year, the Browns end up getting something signed with the NFL that the Color Rush was going to be the primary.
Yeah, they allowed them to use it as their primary.
Because people absolutely hated the other jerseys. So
those are bad.
Yeah, they're awful. I don't know who the hell they paid to do those, but those are bad. But I can't wait to see them. But
and having a discussion with Chad last night, he did give the Bengals some credit. I got to point it out. He said that they have one of the best uniforms in the league.
Bengals might have. Obviously, you got like the Panthers, with the blue and the black and the silver.
I think the Bengals are better than theirs.
But the Bengals are a top 3 fucking jersey, because you were like, it's about time for a switch. I'm like, what?
Well, they just haven't done it in a long time. People like new stuff.
The thing that the Bengals need to keep the jerseys, the black, the white, and the orange. I think the Bengals jerseys are nasty. The one thing I think the Bengals need to do is go back to the 97 logo.
I retweeted that.
Did you?
The tiger head.
Of the tiger, man. That feels like the Bengals, the B with the Bengal stripes. I don't like it. Go back to the Bengal.
It was a fucking travesty. I want to say it was 08. I could be wrong here. But the Bengals used to have that big fucking tiger that stretched from like the 30 to the 30, as their midfield logo. Fucking dope. Why Mike Brown or whoever would ever sign off on changing it and putting that fucking B on the middle of the field is stupid.
I think things just change, but,
the tiger head logo, bring it back.
Or there was a helmet before there. I forget.
It was just the helmet.
I seen the same picture you did, but it was super, super neat. But no, man, I'm with you. Go back to the tiger. That's I don't like the B. Not a fan of the B.
I just wanted to make sure to point out that he did give the Bengals credit on something here on the podcast.
Hey, listen, it's not that I dislike the Bengals so much. They are a close home team. It's the fans. I don't want to get into it again and make everybody mad. It's not necessarily the Bengals. It's more the fans, and I just think that comes with it.
I guess that's fair enough. But to the original topic here, I was talking to you guys last night about this, and I want to get your opinion. They're actually letting a couple linebackers walk this offseason. Christian Kirksey's leaving.
We're not sure about that one.
Oh, that's not confirmed?
That's not confirmed yet. He tweeted something like the fucking unis the picture I posted, and people ran with it. Brown sweater is fucking insane.
But the one that I do want to talk about is they are for sure letting Joe Schobert walk.
Yeah, they're letting Joe Schobert because Joe Schobert's going to see over $10 million in free agency, and the Browns did not want to pay that.
And you Austin and I are in a group chat every Sunday. You guys, it's a lot of you guys talking about the Browns game because we're kind of outnumbered. I'm the only Bengals fan, but. And it's a lot of, look what Joe did. Oh, Joe. You guys liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Seemed to be a fan favorite, and the Browns are letting him go. And it's weird because the Browns aren't I guess you would have more insight than me, but I don't look at the Browns as a frugal, cheap franchise.
No, I just think that now with Andrew Berry in there, I think it's more about the guys that they're going to want. Don't get me wrong, Joe Schobert is is great. You know, he's been in, I don't know how long he's been in the league. Over 5 years. I just think that, and he's only been to one Pro Bowl. I just think that maybe it's just time's up there. I'm not going to hate on this yet because I don't know what they have planned. Are they looking at Simmons? Are they going to? Where's Simmons from? What did he run that 40? He ran like a 3.6. But where's Simmons from? Do you know?
Isaiah Simmons, Clemson.
Clemson, yeah, Clemson.
Clemson.
He's from Clemson, and I don't know if they're looking at him. I don't know who is the guy from the Rams.
Corey Littleton.
I don't know if they're looking at Corey Littleton. He's been mentioned. I don't know what they have planned. Now, if they plan on letting Schobert go and not replacing him, then yeah, bad move.
Right.
But the Browns are about to have like $70 million to spend.
Right.
If I think actually more than that.
We're going to give half that to Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield.
Well, Baker still got some years, but yeah, you're going to have to get Myles signed. But yeah, I don't know what their plan is. I think that they want a little bit more out of that position. Not only that,
he's like leading the league in tackles, right?
He was, but you loved this guy last year as a Bengals fan, Mack Wilson.
Oh, I was getting ready to ask how much of it has to do with him. He was balling.
Mack Wilson balled, our linebacker out of Alabama that Dorsey stole. I think it was
fourth or fifth
round pick.
Dude, as soon as he hit the field in the preseason, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and that just happens, man. You get them rookie contracts, and so that could be it. They could plan on keeping Kirksey and going with Kirksey and Mack Wilson. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
And in relation to that, Joe Mixon actually tweeted, "Thank you at Browns. I have the utmost respect for Joe as a man and a football player. Wouldn't mind if you came to the better side of Ohio, just saying." And Schobert said, "Appreciate it, Joe. Never know what will happen. I know my boy Alex Arison wouldn't mind." And then I'm looking at the tweet right now. You're right below it. Yeah, the Bengals are paying over $10 million a year for anyone that isn't that old and out of their prime. That's a good transition to something that we were talking about.
But I want to hit on that real quick. Joe Mixon should tweet every fucking linebacker that gets cut.
He tweets a lot of people. He's our recruiter.
No, but he should. Every linebacker that gets cut, he damn well should.
Yeah, sign them all.
The Bengals don't have any.
Jermaine Pratt came on at the end, but that's it. Nick Vigil sucks.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I can't even think of the other name. Hardy Nickerson.
He should tweet every linebacker, man, because the Bengals need a lot. I think, personally, Schobert ends up in Green Bay, back in Wisconsin. I think that's where he wants to go, back home. But, I don't know. We'll see.
So, yeah, interesting. That's somebody that I would want the Bengals to target, and I've actually said this to you before now. It's like, fucking target all of them.
Yeah.
Any free agent linebacker. Littleton, talk to him. Schobert, talk to him.
Yeah, you guys should, somebody.
And we actually talked last week, and when you posted the episode on your Facebook, you said, Drew is talking like the Bengals are going to spend money, shaking my head. We talked to you like the Bengals aren't going to spend any money. Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did a piece on NFL Network and put it on his Twitter where he said the Bengals are expected to be major players in free agency this year.
He did say
not breaking the bank.
If you watch the video, because there's a video on it, he did say that they are going to be players, which is great. They should be. They haven't been players in years. That's a fucking start. But he did say he didn't expect them to be in for the top guys. And that sounds right, because I don't think that's Mike Brown at all. I don't think they're going to go out here and get the biggest guys on the market and pay them $15 million a year. I don't see that. That's not the Bengal way of doing things. But you should be excited, even if they're getting those tier 2, tier 3 players. Something might be changing here. Something could be changing.
He said that they're not going to break the bank on the top guys, and I've said this for a while. And sometimes it was defending the Bengals, but I still believe it, even if, they are the players that – and I still meet that with a bit of skepticism. But a lot of those top guys that get those crazy big contracts, it doesn't seem to pay off for the life of that contract.
Sometimes, yeah.
So
it does seem like the majority of the time, but there are some that do.
But they are in a position that I told you the Browns were in a couple of years ago when they got some pretty, good name free agents. Like they made Kevin Zeitler the highest paid guard in history. They're in that position now where the Browns were, where it's like, you've been so bad, you are going to have to pay guys to come there. You're gonna, you're gonna have to overpay some guys to come there.
They're gonna have to.
And hearing Rappaport saying it, I've never heard anybody, especially respected, come out and say like, oh no, the Bengals are going after it. And I thought it was weird because I had heard more talk coming from Zach Taylor at the Combine, Duke Tobin, and some of the interviews that he's done, where, when Marvin Lewis was there, and I'm not saying it's all him. I mean, I think he had a lot to do with it. He was kind of a de facto GM as well with Tobin. But Tobin and Taylor both had said free agency a lot more than I had really heard in the past. We got an opportunity to improve our team in the draft and free agency.
Stepped in and told him, hey, man, you got to make some fucking moves here.
So I'm wondering, does Taylor have that pull already? Or is Mike Brown taking a step back a little bit and letting his daughter and her husband run more, even though I've heard that they've been getting more and more control over the years? Or is Mike Brown saying, I can't have this stadium that empty? I know I get my TV deal money, but every empty seat he's looking at, he's missing $100 or so.
I mean, you would hope that that's the case.
And there's guys that are out there that I think the Bengals could have that could improve the team. And, you got your quarterback coming in. There's some linemen and stuff. And we're going to get into a little bit more of the free agency actual look at players in a minute. But it is encouraging and exciting for me to see that usually when free agency opens, we're all doing the same thing. We're refreshing Twitter. We're looking. We're waiting on that tweet notification. And I'm usually just getting fucking mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're never – yeah,
and
I feel that. And
one thing in relation to it, A.J. Green, they are going to franchise him if they can't reach a long-term deal. Expected. I know that we had the trade him, get what you can. He's on his way down. You're rebuilding. I think that the Bengals need to reach a long-term deal with A.J. Green for one reason. Well, multiple reasons, but the one reason I think is the biggest is perception.
Yeah.
The Bengals seem very motivated in changing the narrative around the league about them not spending money, about them being a quarterback wasteland, about all of the things that we've heard before Burrow came out and said, okay, like, I'm coming. And then the fucking question completely switched from that day. Oh, well, okay, well, Tua is probably going to go to the Redskins, and let's drum that up. So, but I think it's a perception where, okay, you're one of the top guys at your position when you're on the field. AJ's missed. Actually, I saw a stat, man. He's missed like 24 of the last 32 games or something of the sort. Like, that's a lot. But I think the perception is, okay, you come in, you're one of the top guys at your position. We're going to reward you. We're going to stick with you. That may be something that they need to show to a Joe Burrow or a prospective free agent that they may be looking at. So I think he can come back and still be A.J. Green for another 2-3 years if he stays healthy. That's a big if at this point. But perception-wise, I think the Bengals really want to get that long-term deal done because they signed the Geno Atkins, who's good but not talked about. They signed the guys, but they're okay. This is AJ fucking Green, been one of the best receivers at his position since he entered the league. We paid him, we kept him here. So hopefully that's going forward. But AJ Green's playing in Cincinnati next year. He's not holding out on the tag. He already said, I'm not turning down $18 million.
Well, we think he's playing as long as he don't get injured. We'll see.
Well,
AJ's a great player when he's on the field.
And he's a good dude.
That injury bug is starting to creep up on him for sure.
So I guess we could transition into the free agency thing here a little bit and talk about the three guys that we would want to have on our team. So, Chad, let's let you go first with this.
All right. 3
free agents that are going to be in this free agent class that you want to add to the Cleveland Browns this year. Who you got?
So I'm going to be, straightforward with it. I don't think that, the Browns are going out here and getting, the Jadeveon Clowneys and I can't even say that defensive end's name from the Jaguars.
Yannick Ngakoue?
Is that it?
Yeah, I think. I don't
know. I don't see that coming. But there were some big holes, mainly on defense with the Browns. There was a big one on offense, which is that left tackle spot. Obviously, with Greg Robinson doing something with 100+ pounds of weed, hopefully just smoking it.
Shit.
Yeah, but
that's personal use for Josh Gordon.
But so realistically, here are my top 3 targets that I want. Number 1 to me is actually very easy. Jack Conklin out of the Titans, only 26-year-old, could hop in and just fill that left tackle spot. Protect Baker's blind side, and obviously if they get a deal done, it's going to be for multiple years. Now, a player did get kind of released today. They were going to stay in touch. If the Browns wanted to fill that that left tackle spot, for a year or two, until they drafted somebody or could really make a move. Obviously, Jason Peters in the Eagles separated.
And I want to throw this out there. I don't mean to cut you off. I saw this on the way home. Trent Williams' agent has been given permission by the Redskins to look for a trade also.
He scares me a little bit more just because he hasn't played.
Yeah, he's older.
But I want Conklin. Jack Conklin, he's young, like I said, 26. Obviously I would take Jason Peters. He's been in the league 11 seasons. He's made the Pro Bowl 9 of those. Obviously, he's not no Joe Thomas. But I'll take either if we're looking for just a what do you call it, a stopping gap there?
Stopgap, yeah.
Yeah, then Peters, But if we're looking for the long term guys, let's go Conklin. I just feel like, he's the guy. Second, and then second guy that I would love to see the Browns pick up here, Corey Littleton. Like we just said, the Browns get rid of Joe Schobert. And Corey Littleton is a very good inside linebacker. I'd actually have him rated over Joe Schobert there. So maybe these guys talk to people, man. It's hard telling who's talking to who said what. If there's already deals made, we don't know. But you've got to think that there's something there. But these guys tamper.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just the way it goes. And I would love to see Corey Littleton there. Last guy, obviously we have a lot. I could go safety here. It seems like Demarius Randall is going to be no longer be a Brown.
Oh, really?
So
I thought that was a Freddie Kitchens thing.
One that the one that I do think ends up in Cleveland, outside of Case Keenum, I do think Case Keenum ends up there backing up Baylor.
You said that weeks ago.
Baker. But the guy that I would love, for the Browns to get. I mean, obviously, I would Conklin the best, but Everson Griffin, the defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, you hear Minnesota Vikings, you think of Stefanski and the ties that he had there. Those players absolutely love Stefanski. Everson Griffin would be great to put on the other side of Myles Garrett. It seems like the Browns, are going to let Olivier Vernon go, and save them, I think, close to $15 million, if not more. So I think you just take that money, you give that to Everson Griffin, bring him over. You already got, obviously Miles, Larry Ogunjobi, Sheldon Richardson, and you just get that defensive lineman. Everson Griffin is a very underrated player there. I think that the Browns are going to get maybe a second or third tier cornerback. I don't know who that would be. Will that be a Bradley Roby or I don't know. Maybe they replace Demarius Randall with Jimmy Ward, or some Ronald Darby's also going to be out there. But those are my top three players that I would love to see the Browns get: Jack Conklin, Corey Littleton, and Everson Griffin. But like I said, there's a lot of holes more on that defense. We do need a left tackle, but that's where I'd like to see the Browns do with that.
Yeah, there's some holes that can be filled for Cleveland, but you want to talk about a team with fucking holes. Let's talk about my Cincinnati Bengals. I could look at offensive line, 3 to 4 spots on it. Linebacker, I'm interested in any free agent linebacker that there is.
It looks like they're going to need a corner. It looks like they're going separate ways with Denard.
I don't like that. I think you go separate ways with Kirkpatrick and you keep Denard to play the slot.
I'm with you.
So there's a lot there, but the guys that jump out to me, I'm actually big on Joe Schobert. He gets picks. I mean, not a ton, but he can cover a little bit. I know that the issue with him was a lot of missed tackles. Hopefully that can be cleaned up for a guy that's 5 years in the league.
He has a lot of tackles, but he also has a lot of missed tackles.
But I'm in on Schobert for sure. Another one that I want to look at going to the linebacker actually is Dante Fowler Jr.
Well, that's going to be your edge rusher. He's more of a 3-4.
Yeah, you're right. And
the Eagles are a 4-3. They like to.
Well, I don't know. Lou Anarumo did a lot of weird shit last year. Where he's running a 3-4. He's got Geno Atkins in coverage and shit.
You spend the money on Dante Fowler. You want him on the field.
Yeah, and I would say Bud Dupree, but he's getting franchise tagged. I would say Conklin, but the tackle position's going to Jonah Williams on the left. Cordy Glenn's going to be gone, and I'm praying to God that they find a way or a reason to get rid of Bobby fucking Hart because they can get out of that deal. But I'm going to assume they're not, so I'm not going to spend on a tackle. And I'm not going to call AJ Green a free agent either because he's going to be franchised. Yeah. So I could go on and on about linebackers. I'll leave it with those. And then, assuming you let in a perfect world for me, you let Drake Kirkpatrick walk.
They just paid him.
There's an out in his contract too, where they can save I want to say somewhere around $8 to $10 million. I don't know the exact number, but I do know that there's an out. And so if it were me, I let Drake Kirkpatrick go. I keep Darqueze Dennard to play the slot. He is a great slot corner.
Would probably be cheaper.
Yeah, he'll be cheaper. He'll get a good deal, but he's cheaper. He's a great slot corner. He's not good on the boundary.
It sounds like he wants out. It looks like it's mutual.
Yeah, and it probably is, but just in my world. And then I would go get James Bradbury from Carolina, 27 years old. NFL Trade Rumors has him ranked as the 26th best corner, but it's hard to narrow it down to 3. I could argue that it's going to be very important for the Bengals to have a veteran backup quarterback because what is Ryan Finley going to be able to do for Joe Burrow?
Yeah,
Graham Glasgow, his brother Ryan plays for the Bengals. He's a guard, went to Michigan, played for Detroit. He's a free agent. I wouldn't mind them seeing them. It's just really hard for me. I like Littleton a lot too. Kelvin Beachum, not a big fan on him. So I know I haven't really given you 3 firm. There's just so many
right. The Bengals
holes
can go
there.
A lot of ways to get better.
But if you ask me what position specifically, it's offensive line, specifically interior.
It's got to be offensive line and linebackers.
Yeah, that's 1 and 2, and you could maybe argue both but the Billy Price experiment's got to end. He fucking sucks. Okay. Detroit took Hank Ragnow. You freaked out. Took Billy Price as a center. He sucked as a center. Lost his job to Trey Hopkins, who was pretty damn good last year. I'm glad he's back. They kicked him into guard. Not really working out. I hope that they're not going to try to give him an offseason to transition and run with it. I just don't see anything out of him. So offensive line, spin for it. Word is they're going to draft Burrow at 1, look heavy on the defense in the top of the second round for an athletic linebacker. Sims has been tossed around. There's another guy that got hurt, so I don't know if he will.
I keep seeing mock drafts, of people way more educated than you and I. And the thing that I keep noticing, obviously Burrow's the definite pick there, but the thing that I keep seeing is in the second round there, they have him going corner. I don't like it. I feel like you should go get a high-end linebacker.
Or an offensive lineman if one falls.
And you don't know what they're going to do in free agency. Rappaport says they're going to be spenders. So if that's the case and they can, do some things at those 2 positions, then, yeah, it makes sense. But at this time, taking a corner to me just seems to be down the list further than what they should target. And
I can't believe I missed this name because he's actually the offensive lineman that I want the most. So this is definitely one of my 3. Brandon Sheriff from Washington.
They say he's resigning in Washington.
That's what I'm hearing too. So I don't know about that. And the Bengals could get as high as a 2nd or a 3rd for Andy Dalton if a bidding war breaks out, and a lot of that depends on if Brady leaves.
Gold, man. A second is
gold.
My
God, a 2nd for
Dalton?
You
can get a 3rd. Okay, that's I would.
A 3rd's a win.
I would expect a 3rd or a 4th.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
If you can get a 2nd, then yeah, I mean that's
fuck
gold.
Me up, dude. Get a 2nd for Dalton. Absolutely. But Brandon Sheriff's my number 1, so I'm going to give you a definitive 3 that we agree to. I'm sorry for my rambling. There's just so many ways I could go. Brandon Sheriff is number 1. Number 2 is Joe Schobert to come play linebacker. And then number 3, there's so many ways I could go there. I'm not going to put Bradbury at 3. I think if anything, you lock down your other guard spot. If you are running with Bobby Hart, which is fucking stupid, and I'm hoping that this talk that I'm hearing about the Bengals going into this new day, as they said, and spending money in free agency, maybe they'll fucking take the out on Bobby fucking Hart's contract. So let's say they do. Give me Brandon Sheriff, Give me Joe Schobert and give me Graham Glasgow, the offensive guard coming out of Detroit. Still only 28. Very, very overlooked. I happen to know more about him because his brother is a Bengals defensive tackle, Ryan Glasgow. But Graham Glasgow, come to Cincinnati. Let's shore up this line. Let's get a couple linebackers here. Let's let Joe Burrow throw that ball around.
And listeners, man, when we post this here on Facebook and Twitter, if you're a Browns fan, if you're a Bengals fan, what would you like to see them do? Not only that, your team.
Yeah.
What is the whole? If you're a Pittsburgh fan, a Panthers fan, a Patriots fan, your team has a hole somewhere.
If you're a Steelers fan, fuck off.
If you're not the
then
Chiefs,
tell us.
if you're not the Chiefs, you got a hole somewhere
Yeah.
because you didn't win it all. What would you like to see your team do?
And we can talk about that next week. Free agency's not ramping up.
Send us questions. Say, hey, I'd like to see my team do this, this, and this. Do you guys agree? We'll let you know. But yeah, we want the feedback.
And Steelers fans, fuck off.
Let's transition this thing here, though, Drew. We have to hit up the NFC East and the players that we would want. Let's start off top here with the Dallas Cowboys. Who is the player? Now, you're kind of building a team here. I'm kind of taking the best player because I think I'm going to probably go 2 running backs in this division. So, Dallas Cowboys, where are you going?
Dallas and kind of transitioning into what we were just talking about with the Bengals' needs. If I'm going to go with Dallas, there's a lot of good offensive linemen I could take there.
Definitely.
They've had one of the top lines in the league for quite
Left tackle
some
to
time.
right tackle, pick one.
But it is also getting a little bit old. It's kind of getting some age in it now. They almost got the line at the wrong time. It came into its prime right after the Tony Romo era. And then now I feel like the last few years they're getting some injuries. Some couple guys have left. But going on for what the Bengals would need, and I didn't get a corner here with the free agents. So I'm going to look at – actually, no, I'm not. Fuck it. I'm taking a tackle. Lyle Collins.
Oh, Colin, he was smoking weed and dropped right in their laps.
Oh, no, dude, it wasn't weed. That was Laramie Tunsil. What happened with fucking Lyle Collins was he was, like, involved in a fucking murder investigation.
That's right, because LSU, right?
Yeah. He was a first-round pick in the draft. Right before the draft, a murder happens. He was somehow tied to it. Now, nothing ended up coming of it, and the Dallas got him for cheap as shit for a few years, then signed him to a big
like
deal.
5th rounder or something.
No, he went undrafted.
Did he?
He went completely undrafted.
He was the first guy that Dallas called.
Yeah, they called him right afterward. Right. And there was rumors that a hooker was after him because she ate his ass and he didn't pay her and like all kinds of weird shit. But man, coming to the league, I mean he's a stud. He obviously hasn't had any trouble in the league. He hasn't done any of that shit. So I was gonna
Who was you going to say at corner? Who was you going to say?
I was gonna go for a Byron Jones.
Byron Jones is a free agent, and Dallas and them are agreeing to go away. So if you want Byron Jones, you're gonna have to pay him.
Yeah, I was gonna go Byron Jones. I did not know that he was leaving though.
Yeah, from what I read, the Dallas isn't trying to keep him, and he's gonna go elsewhere. So you're taking Leo Collins. I'm gonna go with obviously Ezekiel Elliott, Ohio State boy.
Fucking hate that dude. I said that I separate my pro and college unless it's a guy I hate. I fucking hate Zeke. I've hated Zeke since he was in Ohio State.
Personally, for me, is the best college running back I've ever watched. And I say that with Reggie Bush a very close second.
That's fair.
Reggie Bush was fucking awesome at USC. But yeah, man, I'm taking Zeke. Why? I mean, probably to me, well, I don't know. You got Barkley and all them too. Zeke is a top 3 running back for sure.
Yeah, great running
between
back.
the tackles, outside of the tackles, it doesn't matter what you want. He can catch it. He can block. Probably the best overall running back as far as running, blocking, catching the ball. And the cherry on top, he's Ohio State boy. So I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott.
Great running back, shitty person. He's not a good dude, but that's fair. So I guess let's move on here. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Who are you taking? Who are you going with Philly?
If I'm going Philly, and guys that are currently still on the team, Peters. I guess he is leaving, so I guess he's a free agent. But as of right now,
he might still be the best player. Left tackle, man.
He's
one
an
of the
Eagle.
best in the game.
And what I do as the Bengals is I kick him to right tackle because Jonah Williams is your first rounder. You already lost a year. You got to see what you got. You got to at least start him at left tackle, his natural position. Throw Jason Peters, been in the league forever as a stopgap, right tackle. Send Bobby Hart to fucking Brazil or wherever the fuck you can get him to go. Get your money back. Give me Jason Peters. Let's load him up. Let's protect Burrow on both of the edges. And let's sling the fucking rock, dude. The Joe Show. Joe Mixon, Joe fucking Burrow.
Joe Schobert, if you get him.
All kinds, dude. All them Joes, man.
I think that the Eagles are loaded, man. Alshon Jeffrey. I think that Carson Wentz is going to have a bounce back. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox.
Brandon Graham, Michigan boy. He's getting
Derek
old.
Barnett from Tennessee has been having a great career.
Game-winning strip.
Jenkins, but the guy that I'm going to go with, and you guys hear me talk about this position because to me it is such a pivotal position in the NFL, and you see this position, you see it just transitioning. These guys can go out and play receiver, these guys can block, but it's the Travis Kelce and it's the George Kittle, and the guy that I'm going to take, it's the Zach Ertz. That you just see. These safeties and these linebackers can't guard these guys. I mean, and it is just such an advantage at this point in the game that it's just too hard for me to pass up on Zach Ertz, man. He is
absolutely
he's the real deal, and he can do it all. So you're taking Peters.
Give me Peters. Let's get a year or two out of him.
Who are you taking from the New York Football Giants?
If I'm the Giants, or I'm going to New York to pick my player off the Giants, I got to go Barkley. He's the best player on the roster.
I'm actually with you. I don't think there's any discussion here.
I can't.
They're kind of in a rebuild.
He's better than Mixon. He's better than
they're going to get another year of Daniel Jones. We're going to see how he transitions. But yeah, I mean Barkley, dude. You want to talk about a freak, man, and putting him next to Zeke. And like I said, I loved Zeke. Now college, I'm still taking Zeke. But when we're here in the pros, the early stages of these guys' career, I'm going to take Barkley over Zeke. He does everything for that team. You name it, and he does it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a pretty easy one there. Daniel Jones is better than expected, but I don't see him being far and away better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean we're going to see how that goes. A new coach there. So
yeah, whoever the fuck that guy is, the fucking special team, the wide receivers coach from the fucking Patriots.
I was gonna say he's sniffed Bill's ass a few times. So we'll see how he does.
So moving on to the Washington Redskins, that's probably going to be a tough one. I want to point out that I've said that the Bengals are one of the worst run organizations in the NFL. Washington is the worst.
I'll go first.
They lied to Trent Williams about cancer.
Yeah, that's unreal, man. This one is actually kind of easy for me. I mean, obviously Terry McLaurin, I could add another receiver, dude. And you got to even admit, even though you don't like these, the Buckeyes, that dude came out of nowhere.
No, I'm cool with McLaurin.
To be that good.
Never had an issue with him at Ohio State.
Obviously, you could take Sharif. That could be your guy here. But the guy that I'm going to take, and I cannot believe he signed here last year. Like I said when I was talking about the Browns, we're letting Demarius Randall walk. Not that I'm even going for that team anymore. I'm just saying. But I'm taking Landon Collins. I mean, come on. Landon Collins is the strong safety for the Redskins.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't know, for some reason I thought he was still a Giant.
No, man.
No, he is.
That's Peppers.
I thought maybe are we gonna get your boy Jabril back? You could have done that. He's balled out there.
Barkley's there.
Yeah, but I forgot that he was a Redskin for some reason.
Yeah, Landon Collins, man. I mean, if you really look, I want you guys to go to the, just type in on Google, just type in Washington Redskins depth chart and just look and be like, why in the hell would Landon Collins sign there?
I have no idea. It was money. Because Dan
obviously
Snyder will cut the check.
Yeah, it's obviously money. I know the main reason. It's just like, man, don't you care about winning at all? I mean, you can look at that roster and be like, what the fuck?
Well, it goes to show you, I was like about to cut you off. Like, dude, he doesn't play for the Redskins. He's a Giant.
No,
I fucking forgot. That's what he did to his. I completely forgot that he signed with the Redskins.
Like I said, the Browns are losing Demarius Randall. I'm for sure taking Landon Collins.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Honestly, I forgot that he was there, but now I have to say Landon Collins too. I was gonna go
far their best player.
I was gonna go Eric Flowers, offensive tackle, another good offensive lineman. Sharif, I kind of already hit on, but holy shit, dude, I really forgot that he was a Redskin.
I know you were shaking your head at me like, hold up, he's at the Giant.
No, yeah, I completely fucking forgot. Give me Landon Collins, Jesse Bates back there. I took another safety, but we're doing best players. So, yeah, Landon Collins, I mean, ball skills, stripping the ball, making the big hit, coverage. He has it all. He can come up and play in the box and be like that hybrid linebacker. That's
whatever you need him to do, he can do it.
Yeah, that's caught up in the NFL now. So, yeah, give me Landon Collins. I cannot believe that it completely slipped my mind that he played for me.
Hey, all this NFL talk, man, I am ready for free agency in the draft, dude.
The 15th, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming up. It's coming. I think.
Wait, is it 15th now?
This is the 18th.
It is this month, ain't it?
No, it is for sure this month. Yeah, NFL free agency is definitely this month.
Yeah, because obviously free agency opens up
March 18th. I'm sorry.
Okay,
but. Don't they have that legal tampering now for like 3 days?
24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Is it 3? No, you could be right. It could be 3 days.
I think the legal tampering will start on the 15th, and that's when you'll see
sometimes
the tweets.
You don't see shit, though. Sometimes
you do.
Ones, sometimes you don't.
But it'll officially start Wednesday, March 8th at 4 p.m., so I may take off from work about 3:30. That way I can get home because I'm not going to be worth anything anyway.
Right.
So enough on free agency. We will have more on that next week as everything approaches. Let's get into a couple questions from our Facebook page. A couple of our listeners had some things that they wanted to hear us discuss.
All right.
So I'm going to pull these up for you real quick, and we'll get into exactly what we're going with. Not a ton this week, but that's all right. It's been kind of a slow sports week. We get it. But we always like to get your feedback, see what you're wanting to hear us discuss. So first, DC Fortson. And I really like this one. He says, I know you guys talked about Brady a lot here recently, but there's now new talk about him going to the 49ers. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's a fit that could work? And also, do you think the Chargers are in rebuild mode? DC is a Chargers fan.
Right.
So do you think the Chargers are in rebuild mode? And if so, who should the Chargers take at six? Excuse me. I would love to take Tua, but I don't think he'll be there. So the first part of his question, though, Brady to the Niners.
I actually think that is pretty realistic, actually. And hear me out, and here's why.
I think I do, too.
Here's why I think that. This could be very easy. This could be very easy. By that I mean Bill Belichick did not want to see Jimmy Garoppolo go
this
anywhere.
Would be a dream scenario.
Brady could sign a deal in New England, and they could flip those players. Belichick could end up with Jimmy Garoppolo back, and Tom Brady could end up there in San Francisco with an offensive line, with a run game.
The team he grew up rooting for.
Exactly, and he lives out in L.A., he lives out there in L.A. From what I heard,
he's probably got a house in 3 different
defense. States. And you want to talk about putting Tom Brady on a perfect team? Oh my God,
George Kittle's there,
dude.
The running game
that would be unreal. And not only that, I think he could do it for a few more years. I mean,
dude, they walk through the NFC this year,
and they win the Super Bowl last year. Yes. Now I know Chiefs fans can argue, and you rightfully so. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, but let's face it, the 49ers defense is for real. The run game is for real. You add Tom Brady to that, holy shit!
Oh my God!
So yeah, DC,
perfect fit.
I think that is the best fit. I know we've talked about Tennessee. And I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but the UFC fans, Dana White was FaceTiming Tom Brady, and it was actually live on Instagram Live, and it did not sound like Tom Brady was going back to New England. I don't know, players say shit, and also players say shit to get more money. So right. I don't know where Brady's angle is. Brady's never been through this. He's never, hit free agency before. He's always been a New England Patriot. So I don't know his angle, but I do know one thing: if he ends up in San Francisco, watch the fuck out.
For years, watch the fuck out. It's the perfect fit. I still think he winds up a Titan, but fit wise, it's no better than there's nowhere better to go for him than the 49ers. Right. Now, the second part of his question: do you think the Chargers are in rebuild mode? And if so, who should the Chargers take at 6?
I don't.
I don't know about rebuild.
I'm gonna say I don't know.
They did just let their franchise quarterback walk, though.
Yeah, but no, it was time. But I'm actually with DC on this when I say that that they should try and get Tua. I don't think Tua is there at 6. No way. Actually, no way Tua is there at 6.
He's not getting past Miami at 5.
I'm not so sure he's making it to 3.
I'm not sure he's passing Watt. Yeah.
I'm not so sure of that. But I don't know if they're in rebuild mode, man. I mean, you got Melvin Gordon, you got Keenan Allen.
Gordon's
Mike
a free
Williams.
agent this year.
Yeah, he is.
Probably tagged, if not.
Mike Pouncey, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Man, I could just keep going on.
Derwin
James, Casey Hayward Jr. So much talent there to say you're actually in a rebuild. But like you said, they did just lose Phillip Rivers, who's been their quarterback for years. Obviously you get Tua, he's not going to play off rip. I don't think. So you might have to go and get you. I mean, you got Tyrod there. I don't know if that's your starter.
I think they believe in him as a bridge guy.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going there. I don't think they're in a rebuild, DC. I think that they just need a quarterback.
I don't think that there's no chance Tua's there.
And a line, by the way.
I think that they're going to. Well, they just traded for Russell Okung. Or I'm sorry, no. They got Trey Turner. They traded out Russell Okung for Trey Turner, 5-time Pro Bowler.
And what the fuck was
Carolina?
Carolina doing? Why?
I don't know.
Why do you want Russell Okung over
Trey Turner?
Over Trey Turner.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand that. That makes no fucking sense.
Unless they're starting a rebuild.
I don't. And that makes more sense,
right?
Because they're in more rebuild than the Chargers are, because we don't even know what's going to happen with Newton.
Yeah, well, I think
I know
they're
one
staying
thing.
with him this
I'm not
year.
trading Trey Turner for Russell Okung straight up. That's fucking ridiculous.
Never.
I hated that. I don't know why they did that, but to the Chargers, goddamn man, you stole one.
And I think the Chargers are going to take Justin Herbert.
Well, that's
because he needs a year or two, right. And I think that maybe they trust Tyrod.
Well, and there's word there too that they could take Herbert, but they could be players for Brady, and they're building a line. I don't know.
Or Teddy Bridgewater might make some sense there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what'd you get Tyrod for? I mean, just to back up. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I saw something that said that they were fairly comfortable with him as their bridge guy. So we'll keep tabs on that. And like you said about the line, my buddy.
To answer your question, DC, real quick, yes or no? No, I don't think that your Chargers are rebuilding. I
don't think so.
I still think that they're a competitive team that just needs to fix that line a little bit, and they just need a new quarterback.
But that could change here on the 18th if they take all that talent and they start trading it away.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think to answer the question on the rebuild, in my opinion, we'd have to look at how the first week or so of free agency plays out, or first week or so of the new league year. But as of right now, yeah, with the guys on the roster, I wouldn't call it a rebuild. I'd call it retooling.
Right.
And kind of to what you were just talking about, my buddy Andrew Kern said, talk about the Chargers' acquisition of 5-time Pro Bowler Trey Turner for Russell Okung. Are the Chargers trying to fortify their O-line for a Tom Brady arrival?
Oh, wow.
Is his arrival
that's
impending?
Weird that I just said, and he said that. I hadn't read that before. Just honestly, I hadn't.
He brought it up at work. I said, comment on that, man. We'll talk about that tonight.
But yeah, no, I'm with it. I mean, is it? I mean, are they trying to say, hey,
they're
Tom
gearing
Brady,
up.
Come to L.A. and here's your line. You got Keenan Allen, and we're going to keep Hunter Henry hopefully, and the defense isn't bad. We're going to go from there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, man, that was a fucking steal.
Yeah.
That was an absolute steal. I don't understand that from Carolina's standpoint, not one bit.
And when Kern and I talked about it earlier, I said, well, maybe they're fortifying their line to show Brady, look, we're beefing this thing up for you.
Brady has options, and that's one of them.
That's a very realistic possibility. Or are they trying to bolster their O-line for the rookie quarterback that they're getting ready to draft?
They're going to run the ball with Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, so maybe they're trying to, like you said, maybe it's Herbert, maybe they're trying to make a run to it. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, no matter who your quarterback is, you have to protect them. Yeah,
so I think you could look at that either way. Are they trying to show their hand to Brady, like we're going to get you the protection you need, or they're just saying we got a rookie quarterback we're going to draft this year? Let's get him some protection. So it could be either one of those. When it comes to his impending arrival, I don't think that he necessarily has an impending arrival in Los Angeles. I personally don't have the Chargers at the top of my list for him. I think the Titans, and if this Niners thing,
this San Francisco thing is for real.
That's the spot. That's the if they think they can,
an easy choice.
If they think they can make that happen,
it's easy to do with the flip of. I mean,
that's a dream for Belichick to get.
Oh my God,
to get
he
Jimmy
can
back.
Get Jimmy Garoppolo back.
Yeah,
because he never wanted him to leave anyway.
Yeah, that's a dream for him.
And Kyle Shanahan can land Tom Brady for a year or two.
I still think
Super Bowl.
I still think Brady's got 3-4 in him, man. He said 45, 45, 45
I
forever.
would say Brady's anywhere from 1 to 3 years.
depending on if he gets hit or not. So that'll actually wrap it up. Good questions from you guys. We always like that. Get some more of us. Like I said, the free agency talk. Who's your team? Who do you want? We can hit on that next week. It'll be more, right before free agency starts. So we'll get into that. We appreciate you guys always engaging with us, sending your questions in, and then get with us on all of our social media platforms for next week. We'll get your opinions heard, and always, if you want to call in or stop by, just let us know. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Another episode of Locker Room Talk Uncut.